Hi, this is an unboxing and quick review of the Mellerware Robot 500 Inox. It's a stick blender set. Right, in the box you'll get your motor housing. This is the stick blender with the motor inside. This is the power switch over here. You can see it says Robot 500 watts, and you'll see this has a strain relief, so it should last. And there is the country specific power plug. You then have the stainless steel blender shaft, and that fits onto this over here, the motor housing, and you twist. There we go. So to remove it, you turn it anti-clockwise, and to fasten it you turn it clockwise. Doesn't matter where you start putting it on, because as soon as you start turning it'll slot in place. And there we go. This is your whisk attachment. This they call the chopping bowl. As you can see, it's measured, and you turn it like that to open it, and there you can see the blade also comes out for easy washing. And you can see how these fit together. And just reassembling that goes in there. This goes on top. You'll see there's a nipple there, and at the back, and it goes through a little track there, a recess, and turns in like that. You don't need to force it. It does go in. It's a little bit finicky here, as you can see. I'm trying to demonstrate that it's a bit finicky. So just make sure that when you do put it on, you seat it equally on all three of those tracks. To fit the motor housing onto the chop bowl, you can see there are these ridges, raised area, and there is the space for it. Same story, you turn it until it seats in there like that. Then lastly, you've just got your measuring beaker. If you look on the side over here, there are measurements. I'll just show you. There we go. And the scale is in mils and ounces. Right, before I demonstrate this, I just want to tell you how you clean it. This part here, the shaft part, you can just wipe. The mixing bowl and the beaker, unfortunately, is not dishwasher safe. So these have to be washed under a tap. It says the plastic will degrade if it goes in the dishwasher. Obviously, the whisk, being stainless steel, can be put in the dishwasher. This blender shaft should be washed with care. Once you are finished your cutting, make sure you get the water out. So once you wash it, just make sure you get the water out. Don't leave it sitting in the water. It will degrade the lubrication over there. Alright, I've plugged it in now, and I just want to show you that when you switch it on, it's got a bit of a kick. So I'm just going to do it here. And I don't know if you can see that. It's got quite a kick. Now, keeping in mind it says 500 watts, so that is quite powerful for such a small size. So when you do switch it on, hold it firmly in hand, and you'll see that this button here only allows the motor to be on while it's pressed. So it is not a latching button, it is a press to make. There you go. So you press to make the circuit. It's not very noisy, and if you're interested in terms of the noise level, there's the sound pressure level meter. And you can see that even when it's on, it's still well below 80 decibels. It does get quite warm here already after only 10 seconds. There you can see the blade. Although only being used for 10 seconds, I do see some of the lubrication residue coming out there. So this is fresh out of the box, used for 10 seconds or 15 seconds. You can see there is some lubrication that has come out from that movable part. And in the mixing bowl, this one is quite noisy, obviously because of the extra plastic parts. Just to give you an idea of the noise level here. But if you want to use the whisk, what you do is you've got to separate these. There you can see it just comes apart, and you can put the whisk here instead, and then that fastens into here. Just make sure the whisk is seated all the way in. You can see there it should have a gap of only that amount. There you can see the whisk is seated, and there's your whisking function. Having a look at the manual, it's not very descriptive. It's only 2-3 pages. So I will now go and use it in the kitchen, and I will give you my review of this product. I have a crumpet mixture here which needs to be whisked. There's a whisk attachment. We'll depress the button and you'll see the whisking function. put some watermelon in this jug here, and we're just going to mix it up and see what it does. As you can see, it's extremely powerful. And the constitution's pretty good. It's still got a couple of little pieces and sediment in there. Obviously, I didn't mix it for very long. You saw how aggressive it was. Okay, we have some butternut soup here. We're going to try and liquidize it. You can see how lumpy it is. So here we go. As you can see, it's better to hold it in the middle. If you lean it like that, it will spray, or if you liquidize and lift it up at the same time, it tends to spray. So you have it quite close to the bottom of the pot, and then also vertical. Something you'll notice is when you're using this, it wants to pull you down. So if I use it, you can see it's actually pulling me a bit down. So it creates these currents. So you must hold this with quite a firm hand, otherwise it'll go like this. All right, so there you go. All the chunks have been liquidized. Very useful. Just be aware that when it does start, it's got that kick, and also make sure that when you do start it, be quite deep in the soup. If you start towards the surface, it might spray at you. Be careful, obviously hot liquids. Also, if you do rest this thing right on the bottom of your pot, you'll find that it's quite hard to lift it up. It actually sucks it down. So you might want to just a little bit, maybe an inch or so, 2.5 centimeters above the bottom of the pot. Okay. I'm now going to use this attachment. So I find where it slots in. If you put it in the wrong place, you'll see it doesn't work. Just turn until it goes in, and there we go. And this molded cross there wedges into that side there, so it's going to go on top like that, as I showed you, and that's going to go on top of that. Oh, we're going to start with some carrots and see what happens. Right, so there's the chopped carrots, work pretty nicely. Alright, we're going to try to chop up a tomato. Alright, so it's getting closer to a puree. What you will notice is when the Mellerware starts, it's got a bit of a kick. That kick does help to move the veggie around, but that kick is a little bit off-putting. It would have been nice if it had a soft start, meaning it started slowly. Alright, so this turned out to be quite a detailed review. Overall, I like the product. If I had to improve on it, I would have two switches, one switch for say half power and one switch for full power. Or I would have a soft starter. That would mean that it kind of ramps up the power. Some of the time it gives a bit of a kick, and obviously with a blade attached to the end, it can be quite dangerous. Alright, so thanks for watching. Cheers.